to Dammit Vacant, a wrestling podcast. Hopefully it enters your ears this week after the Gremlins got in the machine last week. Fucking updating.
It's set to do it on Saturday afternoon. I normally set it up to go on Saturday afternoon, and it does all the weekly updates. And for some reason, and I normally sit here and watch the thing up, but I was knackered last week, so I went to bed. And then I came down in the morning to edit it, and it was like, it's not here. And I was like, what do you mean it's not here? And it was like, what? We updated the software last night. And I was like, well, yeah. So, that didn't actually happen. I didn't talk to the computer. I'm not Scotty from Star Trek. But yeah, it's just, it's infuriating because it shouldn't do that. I have to give it permission.
Yeah, no, Windows Update these days, it does whatever the fuck it wants. The
thing is, I update it on a Saturday, and then like Tuesday when I come to record something else, it's like, well, you need updates again. I'm like, can you not release them all weekly? Like pre-binder with part 2 style material.
No. Every 5 minutes, whenever you're doing something.
It's like the Steam Deck, mate. I've updated that like 4 times over the past 2 days. It's infuriating. I just want to play Slay the Spire 2 and my dog game that's making me cry.
You can avoid, like, you don't have to update it.
I know, but that little cog at the top annoys me.
You.
Yeah, and I'm like, right, fine. Yeah. But yes. So apologies for that, but it was great as well because we discovered how to turn lead into gold. Loads of stuff that's
meaning of life, all
lost
that
knowledge now.
We got immediately, yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, it's not been a lot, has it? Really? Playing Slay the Spire 2. Been playing a game called, I think it's called My Little Puppy, which is about death. It's not as it's well, you play a dog who's died, and the beginning of it goes, there is a saying that when you die and go to heaven, the dog that went before you will be there waiting for you. And immediately I was like, oh my God, I can't play this. And it's just got sadder since then. But
oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it looks fun and kiddie. And then immediately it punched me right in the guts and balls. 2 hands. Yeah. So I'll see how I get on with that, see if I can finish it.
While spending time in dog heaven, he suddenly catches his dad's scent and embarks on a journey to meet his dad.
Yeah, it's great. There's a bark button. There's a sniff button. It's everything I've ever wanted. It's like Stray, but with dogs. Yeah.
Titled Goose Game where there's a honk button. Dedicated honk button.
Don't get me started on a Titled Goose Game. We never finished it.
Really?
I was playing it with my wife, who spent all the time honking and chasing that boy into a phone box.
Yeah, when I played it, there wasn't a co-op mode, but now there is, and we did try and play it recently. And a lot of the similar things happened.
Yeah. Like, we've done that bit. You don't get more points for redoing the same thing twice. You have to, like, Rube Goldberg your way through the honk. You know what? Forget it. It's like It Takes Two. We gave up on that as well.
Oh, that's such a good game, though.
We've not finished that.
But
still.
My wife can't function in 3 dimensions. Like...
Yeah, Ashley's the same, but then I don't know.
I was like, we can pick it up. We'll play something that's easier that has a similar, like, top down. Well, like, you know, third person.
Yeah,
because there's a bit in it where you have to jump on like moving fan blades and stuff, and it took so long.
It is so hard when you're trying to be a supportive partner. You're like, they're playing this with me, and they're doing it for and we're having fun together. But at the same time, you're like, fucking jump on the fan.
Just fucking do it. Why can you not do it? It's like with that Mario game where one of you can like hide in a bubble if you can't finish the level. And she just did that the entire time. And it was all down to me. I'm like, yes. But Untitled, I might go and finish Untitled Goose Game, actually.
It's
on my own. I enjoyed it, but the honking.
Yep. Dedicated honk button.
I mean, but yes. If I'll let you know how I get on next week if I'm still here. I haven't cried all the liquid out of my body.
Yeah, that does sound horrendous.
Someone just went, "Oh, you played that cat game, didn't you?" Where it was really sad. I was like, "Yeah." Well, they've got a dog one. I was like, "Sweet, that's what I need in my life at the moment. More misery." Yeah.
I didn't know the cat one was very sad. So
no, not Stray. Crypt Custodian. It's like it's like a top-downy sort of puzzle-y sort of thing, but it's about a cat trying to get back to see his owners one last time. And I was, I don't even like cats. I'm allergic to them.
No.
But the
No.
end sequence of that genuinely broke my heart. I was like, all right, great. Stupid animal. Not even real animals.
It's always fun when virtual stuff ruins you mentally. Great.
Yeah, and we're still plowing our way through Traitor's Island. But everyone else seems to have fallen off it a bit now. So I might just do it on my own, just to see who wins. Because honestly, I couldn't tell you.
I really liked it.
No, I'm enjoying it, but everyone it's just trying to get people together, like to watch it at the same time, like to press play and go. And it's
just Traitors with a slightly more chaotic edge to it. It was great.
So many snacks as well around that castle.
Yeah.
I was watching it going, every room's just got like piles of crisps and biscuits in it. I'd never get anything done.
It's a strategy.
Well, like lure him into it, yeah. I think the last one we watched, Paudy had just gone after existing for way too long.
So much, though. Like, the man's just chaos. And
but even at the end, he was like, yeah, it probably is me. As he was like...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's surprising if he stood up and said, "Am I faithful?" I thought genuinely meant it.
He was just, yeah. I mean, God bless him. He was a tremendous bastard. But
I don't even know if it was intent though to be a bastard. I think he was just being chaotic. Like he just.
I don't think he understood the concept of the game.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Those people are like, "Well, you threw me under the bus." You're like, "No, I didn't." And you're like, "What?"
It's just. I think that's called gaslighting, isn't it?
Maybe, but he doesn't seem to realize he'd done it.
I think his son applied for it, and Dad, if you apply for it as well, we'll definitely get on because no one else in Ireland's going to put their, we're not going to get Dad and Lad on it. And he went, all right. And they got on it, and he was like, what is it?
But supposedly they didn't know. They didn't know they were on it, did they?
Who knows? It's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's just
that's what they said, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that just strikes me as like a thing that would happen where like his wife and his mum. She knows and just isn't telling either of them. That sounds hilarious. Can you imagine if he just sit there like
that sounds like a very Paudy thing to do. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, other than that, we've not been doing nothing at all. Tired, not sleeping.
I hurt my back at the gym the weekend and then sat and played Breath of the Wild for like 8 hours and I finally finished it.
Did it help you back? Did it help you back?
Sure. Might have done.
You're not moving. So...
Not moving did.
Yeah. It's all right, Breath of the Wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. It's all right. It's fine.
They're not my favourite Zeldas. The dungeons are not proper dungeons.
I think it's an amazing game. It's not a great Zelda, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yes. But gluing stuff together is hilarious.
Oh, that's Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't even played that one.
Oh, yeah, it's sorry. Oh, I mean, I've got a copy somewhere if you want to borrow.
I've got it. I just haven't
right.
it.
Oh, cool. All right. But yeah, it's.
I'm stupid.
The investment of time. Those games.
Well, we don't have to be. Technically, you could finish it in about 20 minutes if you wanted.
Oh, my mate did it. He literally like the stamina thing and just glided over to Garen's Castle and just kept spamming. Yeah. Best £48 he ever spent. That.
Nice.
The cooking and that. I don't want that in the Zelda game. I want that in my stupid adventure survival games.
The cooking does annoy me. I just want to play. I don't want to be making different meals.
Yeah. I tried playing that Avatar game thing, and that was like, cook different food. No! I'm a big blue monster thing. I just want to run about and fire arrows at humans and stuff. Like,
yeah, the fun part is not cooking. It's
not collecting herbs to make different kinds of eggs. Like,
that's why Sam told me not to get Red Dead Redemption 2, so because you're like, just to walk through everything, shave yourself, wash yourself, do all this shit.
Yeah, if I want to do that, I'd do it in real life. I don't actually have a shave.
But, that sounds like my life. I don't.
Yeah.
Now, Red Dead 1's better in terms of actual gameplay. Red Dead 2 is like a experience and
cinematic experience.
Well, it's all that hunting and stuff and fixing up the camps. It's why I felt like with like Fallout 4, where it was like, now go to the next camp. And I'm like, no!
I can't be bothered with busy work.
Yeah,
the way
just
of the
let me get
actual
in a
game.
fucking power suit.
I've got enough busy work in my real life.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I'd show up to work.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, don't. They're making us go in once a month now. And I'm fighting it. I'm just going to not do it and hope nobody notices. Or
Nice.
I might do what Mark Morrison, the rapping man, did and just send a lookalike in to do it.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, after we did Mark Greatness yesterday, the lookalike weakest link, and I forgot lookalikes were a thing. Like, because I thought, it was a kind of 80s, 90s sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still exists. You can still book them. And because me and my brother are possibly doing our combined birthdays this year, I'm contemplating hiring like a Greg Wallace lookalike.
Nice.
Talk about that on Mother's Day. You need to book that.
I need to have a word with our Darren and find out when he wants to do it and that, and then put some money towards it. I might just hire like 4 Paul Hollywoods to show up, and then make them fight for my entertainment.
Breadsticks.
They can do hitting. Yeah.
Oh,
But other than that, yeah.
Oh, what am I going to call them now? As Liz on Shrinking called them this week, carb ones.
Pardon?
What?
Breadsticks. She didn't know what it was called. She called it a carb wand.
Carb wand.
Carb
Yes.
wand.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
We're getting there.
Going. So
Yes.
We've got a Revolution to review.
For those of you that have watched it all.
Jones.
So as always, let's get the worst stuff out of the way.
Oh, and there's a bit of it this week.
Yeah.
Can't be more than last week, please.
Referee Dallas Edwards was taken to hospital on Thursday night after suffering a medical emergency in an Ohio Valley wrestling event. I've not seen the footage of this, and frankly, I don't want to.
I have. Not my choice. Not my choice, but it came up when I was reading an article about it.
That's usually what happens to me is I scroll through social media and I go, oh, what's it? Wrestling? What is it? Oh, no.
Yeah, but I was reading an article about it, and it was like an embedded video, and by the time I'd realised, it's only a clip. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
During a multi-man tag match, a spot where Edwards entered the ring as the second referee after the initial ref was taken out in a ref bump. Edwards then took part in a pawn spot where one of the competitors shoved him out of the way to take a phenomenal forearm. The spot went wrong and Edwards got hit hard. He stayed down on the mat, convulsing in apparent seizures. I've not seen it. I've heard people say that like it was pretty apparent immediately that something was
wrong. He like locks up. Yeah.
Yeah. As that happened, the match continued around him, with one of the wrestlers even moving Edwards out the way and pushing him with his foot so Edwards wouldn't be in the path of the next move.
Which was a back fist.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even saying like if it was something cool, it would be acceptable, because it isn't.
No.
But fucking hell.
I guess, there's a thing here where the ref's supposed to be the one that makes the call about this kind of thing, but the ref's the one that needs the medical help.
You're all in there together to do a show.
Someone else should have done something. Anything.
It should have been at least a St. John's ambulance or whatever the American equivalent of that is.
Yeah.
The wrestler who shifted in did put a statement out saying how kind of horrified he was that he didn't realise that obviously the spot went as planned. And he didn't realise what was happening because he was thinking about the next move.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's how he normally shifts the referees out. So it was like nothing new.
I'm sure it wasn't malicious. I'm sure he just didn't.
Oh no.
And I get it. You're in the adrenaline and all of that jazz as well. But like the guy's clearly having a seizure. This is why we've always said like I don't like seizure spots in stuff.
Yeah. My issue was less with the actual wrestlers in there, as horrific as it looked. Like I said, if anything, he's trying to protect him. So he's like, right, let's move him out. So he's not in the way of that spot.
There should have been.
It's the people around ringside. It's the people on the microphones at the house fucking snow.
Yeah.
Send someone out there and go, stop.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The match was finally stopped and shown off the air as Edwards received medical attention. He was taken to hospital, but he said to be awake, coherent, and in good spirits. OVW wrestler Jake Lawler shared a photo of Edwards in hospital, giving the thumbs up. Edwards' girlfriend issued the following comment: "Please keep Dallas in your thoughts as the day begins. I'm not going to provide much information at the time, except the parties who already know. But last night resulted in a brain injury. It's being monitored and will continue to be monitored by doctors here. Seeing all the support you guys have already given is amazing. I didn't want to leave everyone without some kind of update." Later on social media, Edwards wrote that he's suffering from a concussion and a subdural hematoma. Following the in-ring incident, it will take some time away to get his health and life back in order. He said, "I appreciate all the support everyone has been offering, but as far as money goes, I'm grateful to be in a position that I can manage an accident like this. In lieu of donations, instead I implore all my fellow workers to get some sort of training and assisting another's life. Being in the position before, it's very important to be educated in all scenarios relating to injury, illness, and condition in ring, especially when we're performing. I'm not mad at anyone or anything other than the situation as a whole, and I've been sitting for about 24 hours straight in a hospital. Lol."
Fair play on him, because I'd be raging.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair play. I'd be very angry at people not stopping it earlier.
Yeah. Why is there no ringside paramedic?
Yes, yeah, that's a big issue.
Every show I've been to, there's a St. John's ambulance man there, at least minimum. Like,
yeah, I mean, he got attention eventually. I think
eventually.
And I think the big problem is that the one that makes that call was normally the referee, but the referee's dead. So it's kind of.
Did it say he was the second referee to come out though as well? So
yeah,
surely there's another one lying around somewhere.
Yeah, who's also probably down and not
paying attention,
not looking at what's going on.
Yeah, but they'll have earpieces in, won't they? So they could just said like, get a glance.
Someone should have done something. Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing.
What I'm saying is there's a whole in like chain of command almost where the referee should make this choice and he's not there. So everyone else has gone,
Yes, it's whoever's sitting in Gorilla. This is up to at the end of the day, because they're watching the feed live. Yeah, they can see that he's, not.
It's very obvious on the feed.
Exactly.
I can understand why the wrestlers in the moment would not realize what was happening.
Yeah,
but not on the feed.
Someone in the back should have made that call. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Facebook post, ROH wrestler Beef or Niles Garvin expressed how angry he was at everyone not help Edwards. He said, "This is a serious post to me. Dallas Edwards is one of my best friends in the world. I spend time with him almost every single day. What happened last night over OVW Wrestling wasn't his complete total negligence and 100% avoidable. I am beyond anger right now, and everyone involved with not helping him while having a seizure needs to burn their boots or go back to training day one. Accidents happen, and what we do is very dangerous. I am very ashamed, and all of the wrestlers didn't put safety first or involved. Say a prayer for Dallas today." Finally, OVW issued a statement. "Last night during Rise, referee Dallas Edwards, a member of our OVW family, experienced a medical emergency during the broadcast. OVW takes health and well-being of our performers extremely seriously, and as a company, we are all distraught to see an injury to one of our own. Dallas is alert and doing much better. We ask everyone to keep him in your thoughts, prayers, and respect his and his family's privacy at this time. Provide updates as soon as it's available, but in the meantime, wish Dallas speed recovery, and we can't wait till he's back with OVW family very soon." The last update I saw was that he was at home recovering, so that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was immediately after this.
Go on.
Immediately after this happened, though, Altano was on social media cracking wise and stuff, and it was only when people started calling it out that he was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I saw a bit about that, and I'm just like, can you just have the awareness,
gumption?
CTC is a big thing.
And also, he famously said, like, someone's going to die in an AEW ring. And I'm like, they're not going to put you in the Hall of Fame, Al.
Yeah.
Not even a real building, pal.
AEW also have many first aiders that would come to the attention of anything.
Yeah, I mean, they've stopped
unless it's Matt Hardy falling off a ladder.
Oh, God.
One of the worst evenings of my life.
Yeah, and something like seizure as well. That's so specific in terms of how you've got to deal with that. That you need trained people. I remember when I was doing my teacher training in Sheffield, and someone had a seizure in the on a pub quiz, but they were on a stool, so they fell off the stool,
Yeah.
went into seizure. Well, when I was a teaching assistant, I used to like work with kids who had seizures and all that, and my dissertation was on epilepsy. And this person that ran over to them and started moving them about.
Just leave them. Just move stuff out of the way of their head.
In full seizure. And then they came round, and then everyone was like, wonderfully dealt with there, and the person bought them a drink. I was like, that was not wonderfully dealt with. You don't start ragging people around.
You just move stuff away from their head and let them get on with it.
Leave it, yeah.
Very much.
I for the last 2 years, I've had someone in my class who would often have them, and it was just a incredible response in terms of how the whole class would behave. In terms of like, if you're naughty, kids would be like, right, I'll go and get the first aid. I'll go and do this.
Yeah.
And I was just lay coats down, let them fall as they fall, and just guide them. But yeah, ragging them around, and then got a round of applause and a fucking drink bought for them.
Yeah.
I was like, piss right off. I was fuming. I just read ahead to see if it was on there just when you said OVW issues a statement, because they're not the only company to issue a statement today.
Okay.
The LWF are back. They're alive and kicking. Have you seen this statement, anyone?
Yeah, they've done a progress, mate. They investigated themselves and found that nothing was wrong.
They've done
right.
They've been out of action for 2 weeks while the directors took the decision to temporarily close while an independent review of accusations was carried out. We can confirm the independent review has taken place and that we have no case to answer for. They then said, we have now added a key principle to our structure. We will not tolerate trial by social media.
Which means nothing.
What the fuck did that actually mean? Like,
it means nothing. It means if you say bad things about us, we're going to try and pursue it legally, which you can't really do, because everyone who said stuff had evidence, had like backup, like
they
had
did give
the
a
receipts.
definition of trial by social media or attempt to, but yeah, they basically said, unless there's anything proved, we're going to pursue you legally. What was my favourite thing they've created? We're necessary. No, they've appointed someone, haven't they? That's it. We at LWF would like to announce the appointment of a new complaints and integrity officer.
There was another good line as well. It's like, we've also noticed some other companies are doing things wrong as well. And I'm like, you can't shift the blame, son. We all know. Also, apparently some people have commented underneath like this and put, well, let us see the review then. If you've nothing to fear, you've nothing to hide. And it had been blocked and deleted.
Because
which is what a company that is innocent would do.
Yeah. They wouldn't show what the review came up with. They'd just be like, bye. How dare you not believe us?
Waited 2 weeks. We're hoping that it had died down.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, totally. 100% totally. Fuck off. It's just the most it's I'm sorry you were offended. It's that kind of apology. It's not even an apology at all. It's not an apology, is it?
We have nothing to apologize for. We did everything right.
No, we've decided we did everything right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's fuck them.
Yeah, that's why I'd bring it up, because one of the things last week was about calling out the wrestlers and companies who do this shit.
Yeah.
That's to bring that up. OVW. No. Right.
Speaking of problematic wrestlers,
Ricochet is continuing his dick behavior on social media. I think AEW had put a clip of some backstage stuff of him crashing out, and a person called Sandy T commented his acting hasn't improved then, with a few laughing emojis.
Like the most low key
compared to some of the shit he gets. This is nothing.
He gets horrendous shit, and I saw some people go, "Well, they shouldn't threaten his friends and family." Then I was like, "She really didn't." Apparently, attempting to speed run, ruining his career. Ricochet then posted, "I'm glad you got MS." I think the thing that kind of goes under the radar on that is, for him to have found that out, he's not just read the comment; he's clicked on a profile. He's then had to read, because it says in a bio about living with MS and that, and then go back. So it's that kind of whole. There's a lot of lot of cogs that I've had to go before we hit send. It isn't a instant thing.
It's not if he's just typed, "I'm glad you got MS" and hit send. He's had to sit and think about it.
I mean, I do that when I'm being obnoxious to people on the internet. I'll go and find some weakness on their profile, but not that. That's like you don't do that. No, I still think just your kids are really ugly or something like that. Or, you know.
I think she replied, didn't she? Something like, "If that's what makes you happy, have a nice life," or something. And then
something like that.
She had to then have her account protected. Because I think she was getting hate from people who were defending Ricochet's
fans
behavior.
are the worst people.
They are. Ricochet deleted the tweet and then posted, "It's so hilarious amount of little bitches who has tweeted and wished harm on me, who's wished even death. Said some of the most vile things to me and my wife," because Samantha Irving gets it a lot as well. For no reason. "People who try and make fun of me every day, but those same little bitches can't take it when I do it back to people. Fucking pussies everywhere." That was his response to having deleted the post. So it was hardly apologetic at that point either. And then
there's a difference between calling his wife a slag and going, "Your acting's not great." Like, you know what I mean? There's levels to this.
Yeah. I mean, the response isn't appropriate regardless, but one you can understand a bit more.
One I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, go for it," but the other one, no.
He's handed out some great.
Oh, mate, I don't use Twitter because it's this constantly.
Yeah.
But I've seen stuff he's done, and he's very good at taking people down. I just think this was a massive.
But he has like bursts of doing it for a sustained amount. Obviously, he sits down for a couple hours and just goes mad. Like if you go on his actual replies to stuff.
It'll be in an airport or something, won't it? It'll be time.
He then about 24 hours later, he did apologize. There was also, have you seen the live Twitch stream with Mansoor?
No.
So
I saw some comments about this.
Yeah. Before he apologized, he was then on a live Twitch stream with Mansoor and I don't know who else. And the comments were just full of, I'm glad I can come. I've got MS. I'm glad I can come to this inclusive space to watch you game and all this stuff. And going in there. And then after that, when he came off there, he then did apologize and said, "I took out my hatred for the IWC on Sandy and inadvertently others who were affected by MS. She didn't deserve it. And for that, I sincerely apologize. Moving forward, I'll do better." Which read as AEW has contacted him and said, apologize.
Fucking rescind this,
Apology has started with my hatred for the IWC.
I mean, that's justifiable.
I was just like, come off it then.
Yeah.
Come off it. If that's what you're going to be doing, because this ain't the first time he's done shit. He's shit on Io Sky. When Io Sky, what do you say? Like, I can do everything she can do. She can't do everything I can do. Don't know why she gets pushed. And then when she won at Mania last year, he was like, "Oh, everyone thinks about me when she wins." Retweeted Andrew Tate's stuff. Fans defended that because it was his new heel persona in AEW. It's not like a one-off incident that he's done here. And Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer News said something about if he's keeping his fingers crossed, it will be keeping his fingers crossed that he's still got a job by the end of the week. So clearly there was unhappiness within the company.
You can't say that to people. Like, technically, not to get all, George Carlin on it, like, if you can't hand it out, if you can't take it back, don't hand it out. Like, it is that kind of thing. Like, it is just words. And like, but also fucking grow up, mate. Like, there's better ways of getting cheap fucking heat than having to go at someone with fucking multiple sclerosis. Like, just call her a prick and move on. Like,
and he does that a lot, and that's totally justifiable.
That would be a lot of response.
There's a lot of people who are way too comfortable on the internet saying what they want.
Saying shit, and then when they get shit back to them, I can't do this. I mean, by the opposite thing as well, there is like, you can't be like, let's go and burn down a hotel, because that is an incitement to hatred. But this is just a dickhead being a dickhead. Like, it's not even like it's a thin line. It's a massive yawning gulf between the two. But words can have power, but in this instance, no. It's just. But then it's all the white knighting of people coming out, and I'm like, just ignore him, and he'll go away.
I saw a tweet of someone because, the thing that annoys me is that people have different. You should have the same energy for all this stuff for everyone. It doesn't matter who they are, who they work for, etc. But that over the last 2 months, you've had the Hangman stuff, you've had this, and I've seen defenses of that stuff that you wouldn't get if they worked elsewhere. And I saw a great tweet that summed it up, saying giving shit to any particular wrestler for these reasons is going to make a hypocrite of any wrestling fan real fast. It's a scummy business, and sadly, which we've said a lot, and while it's not as bad as it is in the past, you accept that or change hobby. But people who call people out for liking a certain wrestler or defending a certain wrestler, it's probably going to come around to you pretty quickly, because it's very likely that your favourite wrestler is also a bit of a dickhead as well.
I mean, we've discovered that a lot recently.
Yes, we have.
People we thought were reasonable people.
If anything happens to certain people, I'm going to be very upset. But never.
Yeah, that. But yes, we'll see. What I was reminded what Sammy Guevara, when he said the stuff about Sasha or Mercedes.
Yeah.
And he got taken off, suspended, didn't he? And then went on sensitivity training or something. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you should need sensitivity training to not call out someone for a debilitating disease, but I don't know, something like that might happen. I can't see him being sacked.
I think they might just fucking give him a Twitter manager. Like, if you want to reply, you reply to them first, and then they'll say if it's okay.
Yeah. So I think Samantha Irvin said to. I think she's deleted her account as well. I might be wrong. I saw someone say she's deleted.
I think she did anyway.
So
after.
Yeah, because obviously she's caught strays from it. So him being a dick has resulted in the woman herself having to protect her account because she's getting bombarded. His wife having to delete.
I mean, we all love a good dog pile, don't we? That's the thing.
Social media is great, and I'm so happy that I'm on it all the time.
It just makes you think that aliens exist, because there's no way we as human beings are advanced enough to have this technology.
Yeah.
Think about it.
See what it is tonight.
WrestleMania watch parties are back on in Vegas. Phew, that was a scary couple of weeks. As recently as the week before, some venues had spoken to WWE and believed the ban would remain in place. WWE had originally decided on the blackout in order to help boost ticket sales for the event, which used to be a far more common practice in sports. We're told that over the last number of weeks, there were several casinos, hotels, and general tourist areas that had expressed frustration over this, justifiably. As had a number of officials in the city of Las Vegas. One they spoke to them onto the condition of anonymity, said that when the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority Board of Directors, that's a snappy title, committed to a site fee for WrestleMania, it was to generate economic impact for the entire city, as opposed to just the WWE and the Allegiant Stadium. I nearly read it as Arrogant Stadium, to be honest.
Just a fair point.
It's very, very fair.
Back in the day, companies would pay to hire stadiums, right?
Yeah.
And now
I'm paying you to come to my city.
They're being paid by cities to come to them, which makes sense from an economic impact point of view, but not really if they're shutting down all the side events around it.
Yeah. Yeah, which I don't know. Check the small print on your contract.
Remember when they used to host them? Remember, like when you were a kid? Was it Sunday Night Heat or something? And like there used to be like wrestlers in the pubs and stuff that weren't on the card watching the shows with fans, and they keep cutting over there. Do you remember
Vaguely,
I don't remember that. Okay.
That sounds like something, but again...
Oh, no, I think there was a place in New York specifically where they always kept...
There was like one bar, wasn't there? Yeah.
Bradshaw or someone would be in there. It's like having a pint with fans.
Apparently, Jelly Roll might make an appearance.
He was on SmackDown last week. So.
Jelly Jemiah Jelly Roll Johnson has received universal praise backstage from sources people have spoken to. And I know he appeared before, and I still don't know who he is. Frankly, he's a rapping man, I think.
Frankly, I don't want to know.
Country kind of stuff. Yeah. He's just won some Grammys.
Is it new country? Is it like going to get my truck and I'm going to praise God? That kind of shit.
Yeah, when he won his Grammys, he was talking about God a lot.
Get in the fucking
when
sea.
When he won his Grammys.
Country music should be sadness, alcoholism, and then dying by a gunshot wound to the head.
Well, in better news, he got pushed to the floor by Randy Orton when he turned into a murderer and listened to the voices in his head and blurred a man's face.
He punched a man so hard his face went blurry. There are going to be plenty of changes and adjustments to the show. Yeah, because we don't know what's happening on the show.
Yeah.
Sources tell WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select that there has been consideration of adding a number of stipulations to the currently planned WrestleMania matches. One source noted that it wouldn't be surprising if stipulation gets added to the opening bout that airs on the traditional ESPN channel to catch the eye of potential subscribers.
Well, that means it's
on Netflix.
No, but not in America.
Oh, don't. Yeah. Forget it. Forget I asked.
Yeah, you've got to. There's
Let me just break down all the rights deals. We're gonna have a great time.
It's easy for us international. What that means is the first hour is airing on the free to air ESPN thing.
So it's like a buy-in, yeah.
Basically like a buy-in, yeah, and then you can subscribe to whatever the ESPN thing is to
the Ocho
to get it. They also did a sale, didn't they, on Monday because it was a 316 day.
Yeah.
All right.
They did a 31.6% ticket sale for all upcoming events, including WrestleMania. I mean, they shifted 4,000 tickets from doing it, but
that's the second sale I've done for that for WrestleMania.
I mean,
there's reasons.
There's multiple reasons.
If you put your tickets in a goose suit, then what do you expect? People are not going to buy them.
And go back to the same place. Should have just gone to New Orleans like they planned and put some sensible prices. But there we are.
They're still going to make all the money. They're still going to. Doesn't matter, does it? It's just not going to be the same. Not quite the same. Not quite as much as all the money as they got last time.
I mean, how much money do you need, really? I've said this before. When you've got a boat with a smaller boat in it, you've got enough money. That's the limit.
Yeah, they probably make the same because they've sold however X thousand less, but they're considerably higher price per ticket. So it's probably
swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
I'd rather a full stadium than a half. Well, it won't be half full.
It's not about the fans. It's about how much money we can put in shareholders' pockets.
That's it.
They're putting the price of stamps up again.
Oh, we were talking on Mother's Day about the price of stamps. My mum and your mum going on about it for ages, and I just caught a glancing comment about how expensive they were. Like, oh my god, £10 or something. I heard.
It's ridiculous. For all the letters that I send.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the email doesn't exist.
Birthday cards. My mum's already bought everyone's birthday card for the year.
My dad does that. Yeah, but old people don't send emails and stuff, do they? Like, I still get letters, not at work, but I still get hundreds of letters a day. It's baffling because you can email. We accept emails, but some people are like, I don't trust computers.
Yeah.
Ever since that Nigerian prince took all my money.
No, it's a problem because a lot of things need you to download an app or use a smartphone to a certain degree, and
I get it.
People aren't going to do it because
it won't be here much longer.
All right.
Anyway, Santos Escobar is still doing
it right. Yeah,
we need the Royal Mail to keep going for when Will Ospreay retires. That's his dream job, isn't it?
Oh, how about the Royal Mail? Okay.
Yeah, I thought Alex was going to start just Logan's running old people.
Yeah. That's what
no.
I thought you were getting at. Yeah, I was like,
that is what I was getting at.
All right. Couple of cold winters and they'll all be gone. Yeah.
And then I was just on Will Ospreay's dream job is to be.
Although the government pay people who have oil-fired furnaces money or something, which I don't. Anyway, let's move on.
After performance at Triple Play this weekend, outlets ran with a false news report that Santos Escobar was quietly moved to the alumni section of WWE's website.
Did we check this?
That isn't true. Escobar's been on that section ever since his contract expired last year. Everyone's never moved him back. It's not accurate. Not like AEW has lost the page, which isn't apparently entirely accurate, apart from when it's not.
To the second.
Who is taking pictures of it every day and cross-referencing them?
I don't know.
The Dutch.
The Dutch as a nation.
Every day, one person. It changes round.
It's like jury duty.
Yeah, like, well, yeah.
It's your turn to look at the.
Wasn't there a thing where you could phone a number and it would pair you with a random Dutch person and you could have a bit of a chat?
I don't know.
I remember it being a thing, but it feels like I dreamt that now.
I can imagine that being a thing in the weird time of the internet. Yeah. Well, it's always a weird time of the internet, but it was different.
No, in the good old days, before everyone when it was only nerds and weirdos, and before like all the racist nans got on it. Yeah.
Yeah. WWE actually confirmed with Fight from the last week he's still with the company. Apparently there were some questions about his performance at AAA. Fight for anything about that specifically. We did hear in recent weeks Escobar wished he was used better and actually be utilized. Because remember, he left, and then they paid him. Well, it says here they paid him amount of money that would be irresponsible not to not have him feature on WWE TV to stay, and then they've got him on AAA. I guess I don't know. In an update, Fightful that he worked that match injured, and the injury got more aggravated during the match. And he's set to undergo surgery this Thursday for a torn tricep. The original injury occurred on the NXT House Show tour by working with Hijo de Wagner Jr. during the Royal Rumble weekends. At the time, it's going to be an injury, not a tear. So, yeah, he's done with WWE. He had a bad match because he was hurt. That's what it boils down to.
And someone isn't doing their job on the alumni front.
I want the scripts linked to the expiry date of their contracts.
Yeah.
And it moved automatically as soon as it expires.
I know a man. Yeah. Just one.
Just one man.
Mercedes Moné continues to lose her titles. So March 14th, she lost the EWA Women's Championship to Mila Schmidt. Last week, she lost the CMLL Women's Championship to Persephone in Arena, Mexico. And the Best Jar Wrestling Women's Championship to Swan at Mayhem in Italy. She's now down to 6 physical championships. Discovery.
Yay.
John is eagerly waiting for her to come and lose. The PTW Women's Championship in Poland, Body Slam Women's Championship in Denmark, WPW Women's Championship in Canada, APAC Women's Championship in Malaysia, and the 2025 Owen Hart Foundation Championship. Obviously, different thing. But yeah, I kind of hope she goes to some of them, but keeps it though, because it's now like the point where it's like she's going to show up and she's losing.
Just drop them, yeah.
Just have a keep a couple for a little bit longer or so. If scheduled.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
just you.
All right. No, the thing would be if she now has to start cheating to hold them. Like the desperation sets in.
Yeah, I like that. So many people were so convinced that she was just gonna drop them all in some bullshit way, and she's going around the world and she's putting all these people over, and I never doubted for a second she wouldn't, because she loves this, She
loves it, yeah. People who are saying that are the people who believe that clickbait shit that and the narrative that gets spread about her, which is completely bullshit. She loves wrestling. The video of her, I think, losing one, and she's up near the curtain, and you can just see her smiling.
Yeah,
it's like when Bianca beat her at Mania, and she's just beaming down on the floor.
Everyone, there was articles about how she threw a tantrum or something, saying she was going to lose. When she found she was losing, and then you see this picture of her beaming on the floor, look at what we did.
But what are you going to believe? Me or your own eyes? Yeah.
Well, so it's just this bullshit follows her around for some reason.
Negativity sells, John.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
The thing, isn't it?
It's
easier to dump on people than it is to go. She's doing a really great job. She's been carrying them belts for ages. She's done shows. She's put people over. She's got bums on seats. She's got people invested in local wrestling, indie wrestling in their country.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that what everyone should be doing? No. I want to see Randy Orton and fucking Cody Rhodes again.
Just while you're on Moné, just because she tweeted this a couple of hours ago, she's asked people to go and report and flag a channel immediately, saying, "I'm honestly disgusted by this." So, right, the thumbnail is it's horrendous. I don't even know what the video is. It says Sasha Banks finally reveals why she left WWE, and the thumbnail is her getting powerbombed in a powerbomb position with Triple H, with her making a face, and the quote underneath saying, "He ate my pee."
The fuck's sake.
Blanked out SSY.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And she's replied to that because someone had put the picture up with like question marks, like, "What the hell is this?" And she's just said, "I'm honestly disgusted by this. A level of disrespect, exploitation, and straight up false narrative being pushed here is beyond unacceptable. No one should have to deal with content like this being made about them. I need everyone who sees this to flag and report the channel immediately. This kind of behaviour shouldn't be tolerated or given a platform." So
It should not, no.
putting that out there, if you want to go and report that, I've done that. Just go on her X Twitter page and you'll see.
Yeah,
but
it's. I mean, I'm fairly sure that weird creepy guy who did that fake video of him kissing was it AJ Lee?
Oh God.
Yeah, that was still up last time I checked. And I reported that from every account I have. Because it's just creepy and fucking weird. That is awful. Like, you wonder why women don't come to fucking shows, mate. Like, because it's full of dirty trousered perverts. Fucking. Oh. Moving on. The mini little wee bit story section. Hangman Page is set to take some time off from AEW TV. Fightful were not told it was happening immediately or if you would appear on Dynamite in the coming weeks. However, the active plan is for Hangman to take time off. I think last time he sort of lost at the last hurdle, he disappeared and came back angry, didn't he? What I remember.
It was Revolution 2 years ago or something. Well, Revolution was the last time he took time off a couple of years ago. He was gone for about 4 months.
That's all right. That gives the top bit of time to move around. Wrestling Votes Radio on Fightful Slates is told an upcoming AAA Premium Live event is on the books for Saturday, May the 30th in Monterey at the Arena Monterey. The event is the Lucha Libre World Cup, which I hope is like sensible soccer because I'd watch the fuck out of that. Just a load of dudes in lucha masks kicking like a flyway football around.
Like Mario Strikers, that type of football.
Yeah, oh, even better. Yeah. Oh, that one you was playing in the arcade where you could just actually punch people. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
Super Striker, I think it was called. I can't remember, but yeah. It was confirmed to Fightful by AAA sources this week that Body Slam's report was correct, and Nino Hamburguesa was let go by the company after an incident with the fan.
He had a fight with a fan during one of his indie bookings.
Probably tremendous name, bad attitude. We've been asked a number of times about Johnny Gargano and just have told he's firmly under contract with WWE at the moment.
Lying on a table, and I'm not really following it because I don't watch it as much, but every time I see him, I think he's upset since Tommaso Ciampa's left and he's gone on a bit of a losing streak. So he's just like lying down, like face plant on things and being wheeled about by Candice.
Okay.
I don't know. But the only funny thing was that he did a Twitch stream. He did a Twitch stream today or something, or yesterday, and it's just him lay across the table. And then someone went, and then he did this, and then he's turned and gone to the other side of the table and laid that. I was like, it's shit on the TV, but that's hilarious.
I mean, that's the kind of shit I will watch for ages, man. Yeah. It's like the paint drying channel. Yes, something might happen. It's been clarified to Fightful that WWE want Royce Keys on the main roster instead of NXT. Yeah. You should do.
There was just some reports that it was him, I think, that had demanded he
go to NXT.
Yeah, and it turns out That's not how it works.
Last I heard, it's like he could be the one teaming with Jelly Roll.
Has he upset someone or?
You say that though, but in their world, that is putting eyes on.
That is true. I
remember
Jelly Roll's last match
on
involved Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton.
Yeah, is he the one that's got all the drawing on his face?
Yeah, he lost.
Right.
He lost a ton of weight.
I'm not.
Do the match,
I have no interest, mate. Music peaked in 1997. Anything after that's just noise. Those Fightful spoke to in AEW were very happy about the ticket sales for Revolution, which hit over 12,000 and a $1 million gate. It's the second biggest
WrestleMania ticket.
It is. It's the second biggest Revolution after the French. No, after the Sting's retirement.
Oh God! What a time.
But yeah, that's.
Let's just do 1 millionaire at WrestleMania. It's like, yeah,
just one guy in a top hat. Woohoo! I don't. We've said it before, but I'm not going to pay that amount of money to go and sit in the nosebleeds. When we went to watch AEW, and it was what, 40 quid?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I'll also throw that in. The tickets. Pre-sale for All In started on Monday. The general sale is on Friday, but yeah, the pricing's fairly similar. The cheapest ticket's about 45 quid without fees, and then goes up to a couple of thousand ringside. But
yeah. But it's a much bigger arena as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah. So Wembley, Wembley Stadium. But yeah, get your tickets to that. They're on sale. We shall be there, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bide our time with it because I think we jumped the gun a bit last time, didn't we?
First time, we jumped the gun. Second time, well, you didn't come, Joe, but second time, like, I picked them up. I don't know, a month or two beforehand, and it was
we've got time.
Fine, and there was plenty left. And we had better seats.
Everything else is sorted, isn't it? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, take advantage of dynamic ticket pricing.
No, don't. I hate it.
Yeah, fuck dynamic ticket pricing.
Oh yeah, you take advantage of it. It's going to get you cheaper tickets closer to the time.
I don't think it does that. I think it just puts them up.
Yeah. It's like running my little weird computer, my little nerd shop on the thing. I just put out the prices up every day, and they keep paying it.
I have seen them go down. I have seen them go down. So.
Right. Should we try again?
No.
Revolution, then, aforementioned, was this weekend. Review the key points. There's a couple of matches, as normal, that were as your toilet breaks and fillers that don't necessarily need to go into. Let's go into the big stuff, kicking off with all of the young bucks.
Oh, that was nice, though, weren't it?
Yeah. It was lovely. They said it's the best moment in wrestling.
Who did?
Matthew, I think, said.
Oh, right.
The best moment he's had in wrestling.
You just meant they said it, and I was like, who's they?
The Young Bucks.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. I thought
whoever's
AA, I don't know.
Because it was their kids, weren't it? And then the niece or nephew, one of them, the blonde one, she had some right sass. She was fantastic. Like, from her off, I was like, she's got some presence. She just got in the ring and did some cartwheels across the ring. I was like, there she is. There's
the next generation.
Yes, but yeah, FTR. We unanimously went for the Young Bucks, and having seen what happened at the end of the match, I was like, it's very obvious that it was going to be FTR because I forgot all about that thing with Cope and
it's
been a while. Wasn't Cope off filming something?
Filming, yeah. So last we saw was the thing with Beth Phoenix. She got
she
power drived,
and then she got
but that was the aftermath. What did you think of the match itself? I know we said we weren't that interested. We've seen it a lot of times, but it's also very good wrestling.
I said this last week, which no one heard. It's always going to be a great match.
Yeah,
I know we've seen it a bunch of times, but it's Young Bucks and FTR, right? It's going to be mad.
Felt very much like a highlights package of all of the previous matches.
I'm okay with that.
I was fine with it. It's just That's it now. No more.
Was it Matt kicking out of FDR trigger at one?
At one.
That,
yeah.
Just like Kenny did.
I know.
But
like, it was a good match. Like, it was always going to be a good match. I've seen every which way round now. Like,
yeah,
I don't think they're ever going to get anything better than this out of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe
I'm wrong.
I promise you we're going to get it again, and you're going to have to make peace with that.
Again and again. We need the angles, Millhouse.
Just pick up on what you did say there, John. The producers need to like get a group chat going, because I think in the first 5 matches there was 3 1-count kickouts and finishes. I was like,
true. This is the one I remember. So this is the one that made me go, hey, and then after that, yeah.
Yeah, there was 3, and I was like, oh, this seems to be happening a lot.
Yeah, we need to have a firm man. Like, who gets the 1-count kick out this pay-per-view? Who gets particularly?
Who gets the blood? Because they were bleeding for no reason after about 10 minutes. I was like, you've got a death match later.
I know.
Leave something back for the death match.
I think the death match had several things in it that didn't happen in any other match. One of them is burned in my brain forever, I think. So.
Watched it with Theodore yesterday,
Did you just blur the entire screen for most of it?
No, he's well accustomed to when I said there was a death match, he was like, "Yep, I'm watching that." When the syringe came out, I just was watching his face.
What I was talking about.
He was just like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "Why is this happening?"
Wrestling.
Young Bucks lost, so see where they go. FTR have won, but the big news was Cage and Cope came out afterwards and beat down the miraculously recovered Big Stoke, who's now walking.
It's a miracle.
Don't worry about it.
Gave the finger to the family as well after the win.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. Cage and Cope. It feels one last run, lads. Yeah, come on, for old time's sake.
Yeah, this is what we've been building towards, right? Ever since Cope came back.
Oh yeah, totally. Go fuck yourself. But
yeah.
But no. I'm just my one apprehension is, remember when we got all excited for the Hardys last run, and that turned into just a big wet toilet bowl, didn't it?
Yeah, well, that wasn't their last one, and apparently we're doing good work in TNA. Just a pity it's TNA.
It's TNA. But no, I think Cage and Cope have got enough wherewithal about them to pick and choose what matches they have.
I think they've shown that over the last couple of years.
No, but to make it make sense, to keep something in the tank, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be good. I mean, if we get a triple threat out of this, someone's got to turn on someone at some point, haven't they? It's fucking Christian Cage, mate. Like,
yeah, but not yet.
He's always like 30 seconds away from betraying someone.
I think if you turn your back on him, even in like shopping or something, he'll probably the urge to hit you with something's going to be there.
Like walking down the back of a horse, you just don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, even he attacked them from behind as well, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Come out.
Oh, stick to your branding. Yeah.
You did have a little stare down with the Bucks at the end, didn't you? So see where that goes tonight. It's good. And then, not necessarily in order of the card, we had the women's 2 out of 3 falls match. Dekla versus Statlander. Dekla 2-1 on the night.
Yeah, it was always 2-1 in it.
No, I did say last week I'd like it to be 2-0 just to make it different.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But because I think whoever gets the first 4, you're like, okay, so the other one's
going to get another one in a minute.
The second 4, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's normally the heel who gets the first storm, which happens here as well through nefarious means. Grab the ropes, didn't you?
Yeah. But it's it's normally like punching them in the balls, isn't it? Getting disqualified, so they get the first one, but they're already then incapacitated, and it was good. I'm not a big 2 out of 3 falls guy.
I don't like them because it tends to go the same length as a normal match, but with more pinfalls, and it doesn't make anyone look good.
Yeah,
I like them when they're good. But
this was good.
Okay, no, not good. But I like it when they use
it makes
the format.
sense.
Yeah, it's a long match, long drawn out.
It needs time.
But it's supposed to be 3 matches.
Exactly. It doesn't really make sense.
Well, like the three, what was it? Like the 3 stages of hell style match where it becomes a different stipulation each time.
Yeah.
Yes. Best.
Like that.
Best of 19 falls or whatever it was at Mystery Wrestling. Yes. Yeah, no, it was good. Statlander and Tekla, I'll watch any day of the week. Like, it's.
Yes.
But again, we've seen 2 of these now, like pretty much back to back on.
That's fine.
It's fine, but
it's like the 4th time in the last couple of months.
That's what I mean. It's get someone else involved in there. That's all
I think they will do now. This is move that on. They see someone asked her in the scrum, like, do you feel sorry for Statlander? And she stood up and showed like the big mark that was on her around like a waist area. Said, well, would I feel sorry for her? Look at me.
Fair enough. Good point. Well made.
Good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you can't come back at that. The AEW Continental Championship, where Moxley defended against Takeshita with no time limit because there was a draw the last time out. We unanimously went for Takeshita.
We did. I considered it might be Mox, and I didn't go with my gut.
You did.
Yes. This was cracking, to be fair.
It's always going to be.
I know, and the people saying, "Oh, they're burying Takeshita." Mate, did you not watch the match?
Apparently
he looked like $1 million. Like, the guy looks like $1 million anyway, but he put on an absolute fucking masterpiece in this match.
I think they both leveled up.
Well,
win or lose, they both leveled up.
But yeah, but the thing with Mox is like sometimes it does feel a bit kind of phoned in, a bit. Like, not so much anymore, but remember all the stuff like the Death Rider stuff when he was running away constantly, and it felt very much like you're supposed to be a Death Rider, stand and fight.
Oh yeah, that was at the start of the Death Riders thing where it wasn't working.
Yeah, but like after losing, and then they were going to kick him out, they were going to have Pac murder him, weren't they? And then he started winning again, and now it's all a bit. But no, this was cracking. Loved it. Absolutely fucking just awful, awful things happening.
Yeah. Tell what 2 men doing awful things to each other within the realms of like a normal wrestling match, and somehow not dying.
This was another one that had the 1 count kick out as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do remember that now.
Earned in this one.
That's a good Mox thing as well, though. Like, I'm so angry that I can't lie down.
Yeah, no, it was mega. They choked him out, bulldog choke at the end. I even like the way they kind of got into that and slowly came to the end, and you knew.
Yeah.
As soon as he put his middle finger up, didn't he? That he was trying to get him into it, and Takeshita put the finger up to it. I was like, that's wrestling parlance for I'm about to lose.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a good moment.
But then that wasn't as if that wasn't enough.
It wasn't. I think the first 3 matches all had something at the end of it, didn't they? So
some better than others.
Yeah, we'll get to one in there. This was the return of Bane.
Everyone's favourite nonce friend, Will Ospreay. Yeah, he's back, and he's angry at everyone as well. Everyone's just angry. It's great.
He's got to replace the other nonce friend because he's going on a break, isn't he? So slide him in.
Yeah.
Going to have 1 nonce friend on your active roster.
Emotional support nonce. Yes. Yeah, Billy Osprich is back, and he's got a robot neck now. He's like Mecha Neck from He-Man. He can look over high things and stuff.
Did like a flip off the thing and nearly killed himself immediately. That was good.
Yep. Did you like his Bane video?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that video. So you just mentioned it. I didn't know what you meant by Bane for a second. I was like, yeah, it was very. I think like back to tank in Star Wars with the whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favourite thing was Moxley's reaction when he was just like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know what this is. Oh, God.
I do not have time for this shit.
But I do like when they reanimated Luchasaurus. I
enjoyed that way more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. That one worked for me way better. Probably because it shows he's a dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur.
It's already ridiculous in my head.
That makes more sense that you can reanimate a dinosaur than put someone in a Bacta tank.
Look, that's what the science says.
That's true facts. That's what they're working on. Jurassic Park's actually true.
Yeah.
No expense spared.
We have several multi-million-pound documentaries about reanimating dinosaurs. None about reanimating Will Ospreay.
Think about it.
Wake up, people.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Ospreay returning.
Oh, yeah, he's back.
Obviously. I saw someone in one of those tweets of like, tell me you don't watch AEW without telling me. And it was like, oh my God, why has he returned here of all places? Like, he should be returning in the main event. This is an underwhelming use. And then someone was like, they murdered him to death in a cage. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They broke his neck and now he has a robot one.
Of course he's going to come back after them. It's stupid if he didn't.
They're going to come back to the main event and be like, MJF, Hangman, I've got no particular beef with either of you, but this dude on the internet said I should be here.
Just like, hi
guys,
waving.
Hi guys. Yeah. No, he's gonna, and I think he's gonna come back and he's gonna take them out one by one.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Good.
And maybe this is what triggers something in this triggers the Mox downfall. I don't know.
We've been saying that a while.
Yeah, but it's gonna happen. It
has to happen, but it's just when, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has got a bit confusing that. Now.
Has it? Why?
What, Death Riders?
Yeah, and the whole Mox.
Yeah, but because he was losing, wasn't it? And then he started winning again, and he's like, you can hang around with us now then.
Established the Death Riders would not tolerate weakness in their leader. He just
started killing people again.
He started murdering people, yeah.
No, they were doing it when he won the championship. They all stood behind him as he was cutting a promo, because he cut a big babyface promo, and they were all staring at him like, what the fuck is this? And they did that for a couple of weeks, and he was winning.
Yeah.
Because he basically turned babyface and whatever, was it World's End? The end?
I think he's...
And then it's just gone nowhere, or drifted. I know they'll do it eventually, but it's just...
But
people actually asking, is he a heel or is he not?
He's in between her.
Yeah,
it's leading to Ospreay and Mox at fucking Wembley anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Talking of the Death Riders, Marina Shafir and Tony Storm and everyone banned from ringside match.
Yes.
Not after the match, though.
Not after the match, no.
No.
I think it was a good match. I just don't remember much of it because it was like the second match and it was kind of overshadowed by what happened afterwards.
It was tainted by the ending of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were the first three, weren't they? So we had Edge and Cope and Cage came back, then this, and then Ospreay. So like the first three matches, it was like...
Yeah.
Someone's coming. How did we feel about seeing Ronda Rousey in AEW? I was belly laughing. I was like, I can't wait to get online and see people's response to this.
Not great, Alice. Not great. I did not feel great about it.
No.
Is that what you expected? Because I remember saying in the group,
I completely misinterpreted what you were saying. Completely misinterpreted it. No, I was expecting shenanigans in one of the other matches. I think I got mixed up with what match was what. Yeah.
Do they need her? No, we've got Marina Shafir.
Didn't she turn up in Ring of Honor once?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, also with Marina Shafir, possibly.
She did. Tony mentioned it in the scrum. He said she's always welcome here. Really loved working with her at Ring of Honor. Always welcome in AEW. And then they said, "Are you going to have AEW presence at the Netflix fight? Because she's got a fight coming up in May." And he's like, "I don't know." So that'd be a really good idea.
Wait, she's got a fight, a real fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Not with UFC. Yeah. Do you know Netflix do the boxing fights?
Oh, right.
They're doing
that bullshit. Okay, fine.
I don't think they need her there. I've never seen Ronda Rousey have a good match.
No. She's fighting Carano, which is like a dream match thing.
Right.
But on Netflix.
I have seen a good match, but usually when the person she's with is the one leading it.
Yeah, carrying her. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And also, I know it's annoyed a lot of people because she said some
not great stuff. Yeah,
problematic things in the past, which she has apologized for.
Okay, well that's something.
But
about the conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we all get lonely. And stuff about trans people and stuff as well, which
I forgot about that. Yeah,
but it's
she also called shit on wrestling, calling it a circus. Criticizing Alexa Bliss, that she had to fight her once because Alexa was a top merch seller.
Was this her book?
Fighting her.
Also, did she put a book out or something?
I don't know.
I remember that a bunch of his stuff came out at once. I mean, I think it might have been a book, but I can't remember.
But yeah, I don't care for her.
Also,
even last week,
why are you fighting Alexa Bliss because she's a top merch seller? Because that's fucking wrestling.
And she's like, who are these people making these decisions? What's that? It's a business.
It's not real. And based on people's reactions to it as well, and if they do listen to the fans, I don't think this match will ever come to anything because they'll just quietly shuffle it off to one side because nobody wants her there. We've got big, strong women who are actually good wrestlers and not problematic assholes.
She likes pointing as well, doesn't she? That's her main thing. She points. She comes out and points at stuff. The WrestleMania signs, random people.
She's probably going, where's the WrestleMania sign?
Like estate agents on Homes Under the Hammer. Just come in and go, yeah, it's good, that. I could do that job. Yeah, don't care for it. Don't care for her. Doesn't need it. They thought it was like a big hooray thing, and I just went, right, great. Skip forward.
Yeah, I saw people doing that. I saw someone saying, got all this stacked roster and we've got people who could return, like Britt Baker. And then she just went, not up to me.
Yeah. I just don't think it's going to put bums on seats.
Going on there with Britt Baker? I don't know.
I just think it's going to put bums on seats because
no one will confirm if she signed or not. So I'm guessing probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe
forget that like domino effect thing in wrestling, that Ronda really was a domino effect to Sasha Banks as it was at the time leaving, because she took the WrestleMania match against Charlotte Flair away from Sasha because she waltzed in and got that match. That then led to Sasha going into the tag teams, and then rest is history.
Yeah.
So, Mercedes ain't her biggest fan.
No.
The butterfly effect in full effect. Yeah, I just don't. If you're going to bring someone in, bring anyone else in. Bring Bo Zilla in. I know she's injured, but just bring her out to point at stuff.
If that's what it's going to be.
I'd watch Bo Zilla point at stuff for hours.
Do you think she'll be on
Johnny Gargano on a table and Bo Zilla pointing at shit around him? Like the Pointer Brothers. If you've been pointing at, please sit down. We have no way of keeping track of this.
Do you think she'll be on Dynamite tonight? Obviously, she went off with Marina. She had a little interaction with Moxley because Moxley's match was after it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they might try it again and see how it goes, but I know a lot of people are very angry. I know a lot of the internet wrestling community are angry about something pretty much 24/7. It must be exhausting, but I'm kind of with them on this one.
Yeah. The only good news is she ain't going to be wrestling before May, because
she's got a proper fight.
She's got that, the MMA fight coming up. But it does mean that they could set up her and Toni Storm for All In.
Nah, I'm all right.
I don't want that.
Fucking Britain by me.
That's your piss break match then, if that happens.
Oh no, I'm gonna boo until my throat until my throat can't take any more. Nah, don't need it. Don't want it. It's like Saraya, and I went that year. Boo! And I knew she was going to win because they brought all her ugly potato-faced family out as well. Don't care. Yeah. Don't need it.
Favorite moment. Moving on to a couple of back-to-back bangers.
That's not going to make us popular with the Morecambe Wrestling podcast.
The Brodido back-to-back matches. Choose the one you want to start with.
Well, let's start with the one that was first. Swerve against Brody in what I'm going to say is the best match I've seen outside of Gene Money and Psycho Mike, the best match I've seen this year. Could have done with more groin punching, and it would have been there. Yeah. People were whinging about Brody King being in like a main event picture. It's like,
what?
Ta-da! Here's this. Yeah. Fucking absolutely beautiful.
Do these people not know who Brody King is? He can crush my skull with one hand.
He will yell at you if you don't buy calico cut jeans as well. There's a lot, isn't there? There's a lot of references. Yeah. We got a vertebraker. I fucking hate them, but I love them. Like,
yeah, they're a move I love to hate.
Yeah, that Poison Ranas, like, they just look shitty to take.
Yeah, they look horrible. Big fan. Also, I hate them.
Yeah. And it just fucking, like, Swerve's great. You've seen all the stuff afterwards as well of, like, Swerve doing bits with fans and that. It's brilliant, but you could put Swerve in a match with, like, a potato and it'd be a fucking 4-star banger. You know what I mean? It's the man can do it all. Brody King's great as well, but Swerve looked fucking amazing in this because the man's a menace. He also looks like he's got thick as well.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
trying to turn Kevin Knight. I'm invested in that story. Little side quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this match because it was different. Like, obviously, it's always like banger after banger, isn't it? But generally of very similar style. If it's not a stipulation match, this was not that. This was a
brawl.
It was
a very different vibe, which I was appreciative of.
And like, you know, Brody King looks like a big lad who would just beat you up in a pub car park. But we've seen Swerve do horrible things to people with. Well, at the end of it, they got a breeze block out, and I'm like, oh.
It's like, oh, I remember that. Yep.
Nothing good ever happens when that breeze block comes out. But before anything can happen with it, young Kenneth appears.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that return.
Yeah.
And it's not really a return, but yeah,
they made it out to be a return. It's like a Roman Reigns return, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been gone for like a month. And that's good. I enjoyed that. I liked it. It was a great match. I mean, looking at I've not watched it all because I've not had time. So I've watched the matches that I wanted to watch, and I'm going to go back and watch the other ones. But there wasn't a match I saw that isn't fucking great.
That's one of the best pay-per-views.
Too many of them. My lobster is too buttery. Yeah.
Did you get to Andrade and Bandido then?
I did. I watched that as well because I've heard people say it was great.
Stupid,
and I watched it,
Andrade.
and I was like, I don't care for Andrade's sexy Andrade gimmick. Because it feels
might not be aimed at you.
No, but it's the way they cut to the women in the crowd, and it feels a bit Ho Train. Like,
have you heard his reason for doing it?
Because he's Andrade and he's a sexy motherfucker.
Well, he just said a lot of the wrestlers are kind of similar in that they're going to go out and put on like incredible matches and do high flying moves and that. He said, so you need to have things that differentiate you from them.
Yeah,
so that was his idea to differentiate himself.
It just feels a bit Godfathery to me. That's just me.
I did laugh though at Bandido trying to do the pants whip thing and him getting stuck.
And Andrade having enough and just kneeing him in the face.
Yeah.
And
that did make me laugh.
I've said it before, and I apologize to it. This Andrade, where was this 3 years ago?
Yeah. I'm enjoying his stuff way more.
It's so good. I can see why people like him now.
Like I can see that from the NXT match we watched back in the before.
Yeah,
time.
but then he came.
But I've not seen any of that since.
He came to AEW, had like 2 good matches, and then just was like, "That's me done, lads."
It's like, oh, I'm taking over Matt Hardy's business thing.
God, yeah.
Oh, shite. Yeah, that was
like
weird couple of weeks.
Like, I know this gimmick isn't working for Matt Hardy, so let's give it to someone else. Maybe
who can't speak English that well.
He should be in the Peaky Blinders. He looks like the way he dresses. The film's out on Friday, so maybe he's got a part that we don't know about.
That was a weird time.
But then he went back to WWE, didn't really do anything there, and then the whole Andrade contract fiasco. But like this now, this is fucking great. Him and Bandito together. Bandito's 21 plex from like a prone position.
That was good.
It's fucking what?
I really like that because I like with 21 plex, but you kind of need a lot of setup for it.
And it's dumb, but come on. Yeah. It's better than a 619.
Oh, for sure. I'm saying I like it. It's just doing it from the prone position means you don't have that same setup. And I was like, just didn't. Well, it helped if it's the first time I've seen him do it. I was like, what the fuck was that? Rewind that, please.
Yeah. Again, fucking banger. Like, Bandito is tremendous. Andrade, I'll hold my hands up. Like, it's fucking great.
Yep.
I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. Yeah. Top quality stuff.
And then we had a Is All Elite graphic after one match as well. How did we feel about Mystico becoming All Elite?
He's got a dual contract with CMLL and AEW. And I was like, they're not going to give the titles because they never give the titles to someone who's not signed with them. It's like, there we go.
Yeah, you
bring back Sin Cara. Mystico's great, and I'm all for just more and more lucha madness in my AEW. Yes,
the big
please.
Ball of lucha is what we talk about. Yeah, but putting him with Kevin Knight and Speedball as well feels like
about wearing masks made me.
Yeah, but it feels like that's all the sort of weird high flying stuff taken care of there. Like 3 different kinds of doing stupid shit.
Yeah. That's a fair way of putting it. I don't remember this match that well. It was good. The whole show was good. It's just sort of blurred together a bit because there was a lot of it.
Yes. But also it's the fact is that the Don Callis family lost.
Which
I'm just waiting for the implosion of it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the...
I will say, why did Will Nightingale have to defend her TBS and tag team, and the fucking Don Callis family's here with 2 titles and the trios, and that didn't happen? I mean, I like that we did that for Will, because everyone says, it's hard to get 2 titles off someone, and no, it's not. You just treat them as separate titles we have to defend separately.
Yep.
But what...
Babyface and heel.
What? What? Fletcher's... I want TNT and then Trios title next to each other. Do it.
No. But yeah, it's there was that, and then the only other match I watched was the main event.
Yeah,
which nothing of note happened.
I don't remember any of it.
I don't.
Should point out that the Willow did drop the tag titles there.
Yes, Hurl and Harley lost to Megan Bain and what's she called? It's replaced.
Gonna make you figure it out.
I'm just gonna scroll.
Lena Cross.
Lena Cross, yes.
I feel bad for Penelope Ford because it seems pretty clear that she was meant to get
that.
Yeah.
But and she's not been very lucky with injuries anyway.
No, she's really not.
But yes, Hangman and MJF, and what was supposed to be a Texas Death match that then became a dog collar match.
Yep, that happened.
I love that. I was like, we're getting a Punk throwback in the match.
I liked MJF's reaction to that. I'm just like, not again.
That was the throwback bit I was mentioning. Yeah. So I think he tweeted it out himself, but a few people had said it that he's probably can lay claim now to the best dog collar match in AEW, the best last Iron Man or last man standing match, and now the best Texas Death match.
Yeah, I can hear that.
or at least be in the conversation. Definitely the best dog collar match, because that one was amazing. But yeah, that was a nice throwback.
Also, shout out to Bryan Danielson for he's just had his hair done when he skewered him in the head.
It's funny that like this started with broken glass, and that was one of the tamer things that happened. I was like, yeah,
Well,
MJF sweeping it out the ring did make me laugh.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Although when he got dragged over the glass, it didn't leave any marks or anything on him. So didn't. It's a bit weird.
That's because it's not real glass.
I know, but when he got hit with the light tube, that was a very different story in terms of how his body reacted.
Oh, yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I wondered when he was doing the sweeping thing, are they foreshadowing a future thing with Kenny down the line?
Oh.
Yeah, I did think that was like a new cleaner.
Yeah.
Possibly. But yeah, Hangman loses and can never ever challenge as long as he's alive.
Well, Tony Khan did confirm in the scrum that it was because he basically got asked, why do you keep letting your talent do this?
Did not go well last time.
Brought up Cody.
Oh, it went specifically well. Because is he here now?
Well, Hangman might be main event in WrestleMania in 2 years' time. For now.
Could they?
Yeah, so he basically said that
I can't wait.
This was the same as what happened with Cody, in that it was them that brought the idea to him. So Cody and Hangman are the ones who pitched the idea, and he was like, "That's fucking crazy. Is that something you really want to do?" Knowing that they were going to lose, and they both said yes. So he did a handshake agreement with both of them. So he confirmed that this was not something in a contract. This is a handshake agreement with Hangman. So kind of sets up the thing that we said about he'll go back on his word.
Of course he will. And
go
burn
back
down
on his
someone's
word.
house.
He can technically die for like 30 seconds. An idea. Think about it. Right?
Maybe
He's died and come back. So it's not the same. Or someone can challenge him for it.
Yeah. Or he could win like the Owen or...
Well, no, like he could piss MJF so much so that he goes, right, I challenge you to a match. So as long as he's not challenging for it. Semantics.
Yeah.
Like,
could just change his name.
Could change his name. Could
come back as Hangman's Spanish cousin.
Handsome man.
He spoke to Spanish at the Mexico event, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He did very, very well, yeah.
Have a word with Christian Cage and Copeland. I'm sure they've still got those gold conquistador jumpsuits from back in the day.
I love them. Did you enjoy the syringe spot that we mentioned before?
Yeah.
I both enjoyed none of this and all of it at the same time.
Again, it felt like a proper death match, as in it ramped up nicely.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's that MJF doesn't wrestle, and I'm like, he doesn't have to. He does 2-3 fucking matches a year. Yeah, why not?
Even Brian said this is why he doesn't wrestle much, because he puts himself through it. God bless Brian as well, that in the middle of a death match, he got us invested in a wrist lock. I think it was a wrist lock when they were. I can't remember if it was with a chair or a piece of glass or something, but MJF was trying to get his wrist pinned down to be able to get whatever weapon it was on him, and Brian was putting over that wrist lock maneuver, but it's back and forth.
Yeah,
God bless him.
Again, it's not just bonking people on the head with light tubes. There is wrestling in it as well.
But whoever says, "Oh, like MJF's putting the work," MJF can wrestle, that's a pretty lazy take now, because he's wrestling a lot, and he's openly said that that's what this reign to him is about, is proving to all them people who don't think he can wrestle that I can. So it's a pretty lazy take from people, or a take from 2 years ago, not a take from this year.
Specifically how he won the title, like in Manchester when he came back, and he was like, "I'm not doing the coward shit. I'm going to come and wrestle you. I'm going to get the title." Like, this is the whole. It's not subtle. How?
No, he's not known for his subtlety, is he? But no, again, it's telling me you don't watch AEW. Right? It is literally that. Oh,
I've seen AEW fans say it. So
again, wrestling fans are idiots.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
but no, it was class. Theodore was watching it yesterday. He did get annoyed at one thing that I got annoyed. Stupid thing. Bryce Rensburg. He was like, "Why is he so close to them when he does the count?" Like literally, because there was one point when he kind of hit MJF at a 9.
Okay,
I don't know.
Get up.
All right.
Probably but yeah, every count it was like he kind of went back and he came forward about 2-3 meters and then put his hand like right over the face. And Theodore was like, "Why does he keep doing that?" I was like, "I don't know. It was annoying me too, son."
Might be a thing now. Yeah, I don't know. It's Bryce. I'll let him off. Yeah, that was that. Like, it was great. I'll watch the rest of the pay-per-view. At some point. I know that your lad was on the start as well. Johnny Boom or whatever. The Costco man again.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that. I'm not the target audience for it. People seem to enjoy
I was like, I like the fact that he does 1-2 shows a year.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I'm okay with it now. Like, it's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one that I think's a child and he's actually like 42. Is that right? Or have I made that up?
No idea.
No, never mind. All right.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of Jabba the Hutt.
I assumed it was a child.
Although although the same people who like shit on like a jelly roll like praise Big Boom and all this stuff, I'm like, or celebrity wrestling.
At least
celebrity wrestling in general.
Yes, but at least the Boom Man was a wrestler, whereas Jelly Roll is a singing man.
Just in general and celebrity stuff.
I mean,
bring back.
Looking what's on tonight, we've got a no holds barred match: Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir.
Okay, it seems a bit strange.
That's just been tweeted out about 40 minutes ago. So
Ronda Rousey will be involved.
Ronda Rousey's not showing up then.
You could, yeah. You could get that in there. You got a coffee match, Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd, which was announced in the post show when Gabe Kidd went off on one. Because he did shout at Darby that I'm going to kill you after he lost that tag match. Yeah, they're the main two things. Will Ospreay versus Blake Christian.
Oh, in the battle of the worst hair. Yeah.
They're the 3 announced things so far.
What's he called himself, Blake Christian? Like the vanilla. It's something stupid and I hate it.
Yeah, I saw something. But no, great show. Double or no. Yes, Double or Nothing's the next one, isn't it?
One, I think, isn't it?
That's in May. So start the build towards that now. Is that when the Owen happens?
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't know. Remember. It all goes a bit blurry at the moment.
Tournaments.
Time has all gone messed up. I don't know when anything happens.
We've not had a tournament for a while. The women's tag tournament was the last one, and that was 2 months ago. So we're due a tournament.
More tournaments.
Oh, he did say in the scrum, he confirmed that the Continental Classic this year is going to come with tracksuits.
What does that mean?
I assume the competitors are going to wear like tracksuits out. Continental Classic tracksuits.
Why?
Why? No one should wear tracksuits. Jimmy Savile ruined it for everyone.
What point of the night was this in? Like, and he completely lost the fucking plot of this.
This was in the scrum afterwards where Tony goes a bit mad. It's so they can sell tracksuits as merch.
Yeah. Tony's got some PTSD from when Punk went rogue on it, so he just keeps talking so the other people can't say anything. Like, it's gonna be tracksuits.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I don't know. The fact that that's an announcement is we're getting tracksuits feels very. I hope they're sponsored by like St. Helens Glass or something like that. That'd be good.
St. Helens Glass tracksuits and matching trainers.
Yeah.
For every tournament.
Really cheap white trainers off the market. Like, yeah.
Getting them off the world famous Berry Market.
Yeah, Gola or whatever. Yeah. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to talk to you about.
We're talking about the world famous Berry Market.
It's
No
world
one's ever
famous.
heard of.
I
The
remember
sign
being
says
on-
world famous. Why would they lie to us?
I remember going to the market once, and a coach pulled up, and a load of Japanese tourists got off, and they looked so disappointed.
Yeah.
And I was like, "There's black pudding."
That's what they want. As disappointed as Dalver at the Ratcliffe Carnival.
A similar level of just like, this is it, because you're expecting like I don't know, like a Portobello market or something, and not just a load of old shite. But yeah, that was a fun day. I should have followed him round for a bit, see what they got up to, but I had stuff to do. Right.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
I
Goodbye.
love you. Bye.
Bye.